Raise your right hand, state your name.
David Gratz.
Do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
That's right.
Thank you. Please tell the jury your name and please spell your last name for them, please.
My name is David Gratz. It's spelled Gratz.
Okay. Where are you currently employed?
I'm an attorney in the private practice of law.
Okay. And prior to that, where were you employed?
By the Tennessee Bureau of Investigation.
Okay. When did you first start with the Tennessee Bureau of Investigation?
In August of 2019.
Okay. And what was your title during that time?
I was a special agent criminal investigator.
Okay. Can you give the jury a brief summation of what that job entails?
Yes, I was assigned to the criminal investigation division. So it's what a larger department might call like a major crimes unit. So we investigated things like death investigations, missing persons, adults and children, officer-involved shootings, and public corruption.
Okay. If you can also just give the jury a brief summation of your education up until the point of starting your first job.
So I graduated from East Tennessee State University with a bachelor's degree in 2011. I continued on and went to law school at Lincoln Memorial University School of Law and graduated with a law degree in 2014. And do you want me to go into my first employment?
Please.
My first position was with the District Attorney General's office in the 3rd Judicial District, primarily assigned in Morristown.
Okay. And then you went to the TBI thereafter. Is that right?
That's correct.
Okay. And were you employed with the Tennessee Bureau of Investigation in February of 2020?
Yes, I was.
And were you called to assist in the investigation of missing child Evelyn Boswell?
Yes, I was.
Okay. Which agency requested the Tennessee Bureau of Investigation's help?
Initially, it was called in by the Sullivan County Sheriff's Office for us to assist in an investigation of a missing child. And later, we were formally requested in writing to assist by the District Attorney General in various office.
Okay.
Thank you.
I'm handing you a document. Do you recognize that?
Yes, I do.
Okay. What is it?
This is a formal request for investigation, commonly issued by district attorney generals throughout the state to request the TBI to investigate the facts and circumstances of a potential crime.
Okay. And is that how the Tennessee Bureau of Investigation essentially is officially called in to investigations?
In a lot of what CID does, yes, we are requested by the district attorney general.
Okay. And on this specific request, what were you being asked to do?
It's essentially just to gather the facts and circumstances of the whereabouts of a missing child.
Okay.
That was Evelyn Boswell.
Okay. Were you given any background information to help you start your investigation?
And like most cases, you receive very little background information. Initially, I was just essentially told that she was missing, that her mother had been located, and law enforcement had talked to her at that point. And I think that's about all I was told initially.
Okay, and we can pass that back. We're not going to put that into evidence. I just wanted you to be able to see that document.
Thank you. Thank you. Can we approach her?
This is. Let me pass you a document.
Thank you.
And I'm going to ask if you recognize that document.
Yes, I do.
Okay. What is it?
This is essentially a standard form made by TBI in Nashville of an Amber Alert poster, and it was issued specifically for the victim here, Evelyn Boswell.
Okay. Is that a fair and accurate representation of the Amber Alert that was prepared and in regards to missing child Evelyn Boswell?
Yes, it is.
We'd ask that be made exhibit number 185.
Would be exhibit 185.
Thank you.
Defense. Okay. And permission to publish, Your Honor. Okay. I'm going to ask you a few questions about this. You said this is the Amber Alert that was sent out in regard to missing child Evelyn Boswell. Is that right?
That is correct.
Do you recall when the Amber Alert was issued?
Yes, it was in the evening of February the 19th,
Okay.
2020.
Okay. February 19th. Okay. And where does that go? Does that go just to the state of Tennessee, or how is the determination made on how far that would go?
That's a question that I don't specifically know the answer to.
Okay.
I know they are issued statewide.
Okay.
I know depending on the location, it can travel over into different states at times.
Okay. And the information on the bottom of this, it's pretty small print.
I can see it.
Okay, you can see it okay?
I can.
Is the information listed here And where had the Tennessee Bureau of Investigation taken these details that are listed on the Amber Alert?
I'm sorry, I don't think I understand your question.
Where did you get the information that Evelyn was last seen wearing a pink tracksuit?
That information was provided to us by the defendant.
Okay. Where did you get information about a BMW?
Also from the defendant.
Okay. All right. Okay. So after the Tennessee Bureau of Investigation was assigned, can you give a brief description of how you, let me back up one step. What was your role in this investigation with the TBI?
I was assigned as the TBI case agent.
Okay, so that means essentially the lead case agent over the case for the TBI.
For TBI, yes.
Okay, so after you were assigned this investigation, can you give us a brief description of how you conducted your investigation?
So initially, you just arrive on scene and you try to get as much information as you can. You talk to the people who have already been there, find out what they have done. You talk with the local agency or agencies that are already involved, and you really just try to understand what's going on in the investigation and what has been done so far.
Okay, and were you working with other agencies at this point?
Yes.
Okay, which other agencies around February 18th, February 19th?
When I first arrived, it was TBI was on scene at the Sullivan County Sheriff's Office with Sullivan County, and I believe there were members of the Federal Bureau of Investigation on scene, FBI.
Okay, and how do you meet? How did all these agencies coming together? How do they decide how to execute a plan in an investigation like this?
In the initial phases, you really do the best you can, but it oftentimes goes to either the case agent or the highest in chain of command that is on scene, and they get together and decide which agency will play a role in what, and you just divvy up tasks.
Okay. As part of what you did you go to the trailer that Megan Boswell lived in with Evelyn prior to Evelyn going missing?
Yes, I did.
And do you remember when you went to that trailer?
That would have been the evening of the 19th
Okay.
of 2020, February 19th.
So the same day the Amber Alert went out?
That is correct.
Okay. Anyone go with you to that trailer?
Yes, investigator Tracy Haraz with the Sullivan County Sheriff's Office.
Okay. Why did you go there?
We were going initially to meet a young man named Austin Feller.
Okay. And did the defendant still live at that trailer?
No, she no longer lived there.
Okay. Was anyone living in that trailer at the time?
Yes, there were current tenants who had moved in.
Okay. If I could please see exhibits number 49 and 50. I'm going to show you two documents that have already been introduced into evidence. Is this the trailer that you were describing as being the defendant's trailer?
Yes.
Okay. Just another view. Is that an accurate view of that trailer?
It is.
Okay. And do you know the street address for that trailer?
I believe it's at 976 Sugar Hollow Road.
Okay. Is that located in Sullivan County, Tennessee?
It is.
Okay. Were you able to determine who actually owned the trailer?
Yes, I believe it belonged to the defendant's family, either her dad or her brother, some type of association owned it.
Okay. Were you able to determine if the defendant had left any property behind when she moved out?
Yes, we learned that there was still some property
Okay.
at the site.
And were you given consent to search that site and or anything attached to that property?
Yes, we were given consent to search a small outbuilding that was right there next to that trailer.
Okay. And did you also conduct a search outside the trailer?
I did, yes.
What were you looking for?
Any signs of disturbed dirt, anything that would lead us to believe that the victim may still be there, or anything that would lead us to her current whereabouts.
Okay. Did you find Evelyn?
No, we did not.
Did you find anything else that was significant to the investigation regarding anything associated with Evelyn?
Well, we did inside of the shed that was next to the trailer.
Okay. So, what did you find in the shed?
A stroller that had been left behind.
Okay. I'm going to show you 2 photographs. you still have the photographs?
All right, objection's overruled.
Yes,
you.
I do.
You still have the photographs? Okay.
I do.
Okay. Do you recognize those photographs?
Yes.
What is it?
These are 2 photographs of the stroller we found that evening.
Okay. And were you able to determine whose property that was?
Yes, this belonged to the defendant.
Okay. So when you say belonged to the defendant, you found it where again?
In the shed that's essentially not attached, but very close to the trailer where the defendant was living.
Okay. So it did not buy, you said there were new tenants in that trailer.
That is correct.
Okay. Did they indicate that was their stroller?
No, they.
Objection sustained.
Okay. Did you locate anything else of relevance to this investigation inside the shed?
Not that I can recall.
At this time, we're going to, well, let me ask this. The photographs, are they fair and accurate representation of how the stroller appeared on that date?
Yes.
Okay. We'd ask those be made, if possible, collective exhibit number 186.
The collective 186 over defendant's objection.
Permission to publish. And is this the stroller that was inside the shed that day?
Yes, it is.
Okay. And is this just a side view of that same stroller?
Correct.
Okay. Did you also take the stroller itself into evidence?
Yes, we did.
Okay. If, Your Honor, may he step down for a second?
Yes. As long as he picked up on the
Okay. If you could step down to where the microphone is. And I'm going to ask if you can identify this piece, if you can recognize what that is.
Yes, I recognize that.
Okay, and what is it?
It's the stroller we found at the defendant's former trailer.
Okay. We'd ask that be made exhibit number 187.
be full exhibit 187 over objection of the defendant.
And, Your Honor, would you like for us to fold that up? They're not always the easiest. Ooh, good job. Do you need help? Just roll it up. See if we can roll it under the table. And that'll work. There you go. Thank you. Okay. So I'm assuming, was law enforcement working long hours during these first few days?
Absolutely.
Okay. Did you attempt to interview the defendant about Evelyn?
Yes, later that night.
Okay. And what would the date have been for that?
When we attempted the interview, it was on February 19th of 2020.
Okay. And about what time did that interview start?
Shortly before midnight and continued on into the early morning hours of February the 20th
Okay. Where did it take place?
at the sheriff's office here in Blompville.
Okay. Was this interview audio or video recorded?
I believe that interview was audio only recorded.
Okay. And is that office that you interviewed located in Sullivan County, Tennessee?
Yes, it is.
Okay. Prior to talking with the defendant, did you Mirandize her?
I did.
Did she agree to speak with you?
She did.
During this interview, did she tell you the last time that she saw Evelyn?
Yes, she did.
Okay. When did she say she last saw Evelyn?
The day after Christmas, on the 26th of December, 2019.
Okay. Where did she say she saw Evelyn?
At Ethan Perry's grandparents' house.
Who did she say Ethan was in relation to Evelyn?
She had told us, or the defendant being she, had told us that Ethan Perry was Evelyn's father.
Did you talk with her about where Ethan was living?
I did, yes.
Okay, what did you tell her?
Told her that we had learned that Ethan was full-time in the military and was currently living on a base in Louisiana, I believe, and was living in a barracks on a base.
Okay. Had law enforcement already talked to Ethan at this point?
Yes, they had the Army's branch of CID.
Okay. And did you tell the defendant that?
I did.
What did you tell her about Ethan and Evelyn?
I essentially just told her that law enforcement had cleared that idea that Ethan had Evelyn inside of a barracks.
Okay. Did Megan stay with that story about Ethan?
At that time, she maintained that all she knew was that Ethan had Evelyn.
Okay. And where did she say that she had been living?
As of recently, she told us, the defendant told us she had been living with her boyfriend, Hunter.
Okay. Did you ask her if Hunter could have hurt Evelyn?
I did. I asked that specifically.
What did she say?
The defendant said that Hunter would not do that.
Did you ask her if Hunter had been around Evelyn at all?
I did, yes.
And what did she say?
Essentially, no. At that point, she said Hunter had never been around Evelyn.
Okay. Did she say if Hunter had ever babysat Evelyn?
We were told by the defendant that Hunter never babysat Evelyn.
Did she say if Hunter had ever held Evelyn?
The defendant told us that Hunter had never held Evelyn.
Okay. Did you ask her if Evelyn had ever stayed at Hunter's house over on Sandy Point?
Yes, I asked her about that, and the defendant told me that no, Evelyn had never stayed over at Hunter's residence.
Okay. Prior to when she said she left Evelyn with Ethan, did she indicate whether she'd ever left Evelyn with Ethan in the past?
No, she told us that Ethan had never kept Evelyn alone prior to that day.
Okay. Did she tell you whether or not Evelyn had met Ethan before?
They had been introduced, I believe, briefly prior to that day on a trip to Texas.
Okay. Did the defendant tell you how many times she'd seen Evelyn after leaving her with Ethan in December?
I believe that we had talked about that, yes.
Okay. Do you recall do you recall how many times she said she'd seen Evelyn?
I don't think she had seen Evelyn at all after that December 26th date.
Started to object. I'll not make the objection. We approach the bench.
Ladies and gentlemen, I'll have you go with the officer.
Everyone stand, please.